Hello, assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Aisha Khalid and welcome to my channel Math Madness by Aisha Khalid. So in today's class we're going to solve May June 2024 paper 12. So let's begin. So the first question says the coefficient of x square in the expansion of is 12 times the coefficient of x square in the expansion of this. You know that the square coefficient you will get when the value of r is 2. So let's input that. For 1 minus 4x to the power 6, 6c2. This coefficient is 12 times now. What is 6c2? 1 to the power anything remains 1. 6c2 multiplied by minus 4 the whole square gives you 240x square. 12 times this becomes 80. I'm using the calculator to do it. And when they say coefficient, so just take the coefficients. They said find the positive constant a. That's why I did not write the negative value. Now, let's move on to the next question. Y is equals to x square is transformed to the curve. Describe fully a sequence of transformations that have been combined, making clear the order in which the transformations have been applied. Remember, the stretch is applied first and then we go ahead with translations. So if you look at this, AF of x is vertical stretch. If you do a change inside the function, this is horizontal translation. And outside is vertical translation. Now, how do we go about that? We can say stretch factor 4 parallel to y-axis because it's vertical stretch. Translation. Horizontal translation is of +3 because over here I've written a -3. A -3 means 3 units to the right because vertical horizontal translation has a other sign, reverse sign. So I hope this is clear. Let's move on to the next question. Show that this equation can be expressed as tan theta is sine theta upon cos theta. And there's already a cos theta in the denominator. Let's take the LCM. 0. Can I write cos square theta as a 1 minus sine square theta? I took the minus sign common out, or you can say I shifted everything to the other side because 12 sine square was negative. And this is exactly what they want us to prove. Now, so this entire thing can be written like this. Solving this with the quadratic formula, we get if sine is more than 1, You reject it. You can't find it out. The maximum value of sine is 1. Minimum is -1. So you need to reject this value. A negative sign means it's the third and the fourth quadrant. And how do we find out the basic angle? So alpha becomes 48.6. Gives me 228.6, 311.4. So these are going to be my answers. Now let's move on to the next question. The function is this, expression for f inverse. So in place of x, in place of y, very easy. State the range of G and explain whether G inverse exists. Now, since the graph is already drawn, you can see that the graph does not touch the y is equals to 0 value. It goes parallel to it. So the lowest value that it hits is going to be 0. It doesn't even hit it. It approaches 0. And what is this maximum value? We input, this is where the value of x is 0. So we say it doesn't touch 0. It approaches 0. That is why I did not write that it is equal to 0. It is more than 0. But yes, it touches 2. There is a value of y2. So that is why I've written less than and equal to 2. So you need to have an understanding of the inequality signs. Because if they are wrong, correct values are useless. Now, whether G inverse exists? No. Now, how do we know whether inverse exists or inverse does not exist? For inverse to exist, function should be only increasing or only in decreasing. But over here, it increases and then decreases. That is why it cannot have an inverse. At least not for the domain given. It can have an inverse only for this portion. It can have an inverse only for this portion. So I hope the concept is clear. Okay. H of x is the a. Okay, so function f is... and h is this. They are saying solve the equation hfx. That means in place of this, we have to input the function f. Equals to f of 25 upon 16. That means in place of x, to remove the square, I square root on the other side. Now, squaring on both the sides. Showing all these working steps are important because the entire question is based on how you are solving this equation. Question 5. The first and second terms of an arithmetic are this. Given that theta is pi by 4, find the exact sum of the first 40 terms of the progression. The sum formula is this. What is n40? What is a? (40 minus 139). Difference is sine theta minus tan theta. Let's input the value of theta as a pi by 4. And since they want the exact sum, tan pi by 4 is 1. Sine pi by 4 is a root 2 upon 2. 20 into minus 37 is a minus 740 plus 780 divided by 2. That's going to be my answer. Let's move on to the next part of this question. Find the sum to infinity of the progression in terms of theta. So what is r going to be? Second term upon what is sum to infinity? A upon 1 minus r. That's it. Given that theta is pi by 3, find the sum of the first 10 terms of the progression. Give your answer correct to 3 significant figures. Alright, so we know r is cos theta. What is the formula of sum of the first 10 terms? A 1 minus r power n upon 1 minus r. What is A? It's tan theta. What is theta here? Pi by 3. Alright, so let's do this. This gives me 3.46. That's about it. Stay tuned for my next video where we will solve the further questions of the same paper. Allah Hafiz.